Toe Customs. I'm the host, Three Toe Joe. I think most of you know that by now. Anybody that ain't following around, now you know. So anyways, what we got going on this week ain't nothing too special. I say that every week, but anyways, we went and picked ourselves up a new belt here. Hunterworks belt. And a set of the Hunterworks secondary rollers, courtesy of Terry Credited out in Lethbridge, Alberta. Seeing as he's the only Hunterworks, official Hunterworks dealer out here in Canada. So if ever you want one of these sets or Hunterworks belt, you get a hold of Terry out in Lethbridge, Alberta. I'll leave a link down below, and you know, you can always get a hold of him if you want to try out some of these products. They're not cheap by any means, but they're supposed to be very well known. This is one of the newer belts here, the HW-92G. So anyways, I do a lot of riding. I do a lot of fairly hard riding. So I'm definitely going to be putting these products to the test here. You read a lot of posts about the secondary clutches having the square pucks in the secondaries, and they wear out the side of the sheaves, causing damage, and then you have to replace these secondaries. So they say that the fix for that is putting these guys in there. So we're going to see. Anyways, we're going to get these guys all changed out. You guys follow along, and then I'll do some riding around, and then we'll cut back some scenes and we'll get back to you. Magic of editing. Alright, so first things first, what we gotta do is we have to get this clutch cover off. Shouldn't be too bad. 8mm does trick on this guy. Okay, so 2,500 kilometers on this clutch. Not hard kilometers by any means. And I want to show you guys, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but you can try to find the right angle here. You can definitely see in here where it's been definitely plugging into the side here. I'll show you guys better once we get this all apart here. There's definitely some play in here already. It's probably already play like that from the factory. Probably shouldn't be that much play in it, I don't think. We'll have a gander to see what the specs should be, but really don't think that's good, especially not from the way I'm already seeing into the sides here. So hopefully we're getting her just in time. Alright, so we're going to use a 1/8 roll pin punch here. Yeah, trusty little ball hammer. Now, I was told by a member, he's done a few of these, and that you can retrieve the pin without having to separate the clutches. So that's what we're going to attempt to do here. Started pretty easy. There, we knocked one in there. Worst comes to worst, we'll just have to take the clutches apart. There. And try to remember that the flat side goes up. You can see where we're already starting to wear in here. Now that I got one out, I can show you a little bit better. You can see where it was already starting. So we got her early, but see here. On this side here, there, I can feel my finger. Like there was a groove starting here. On this side here is just starting to. This is probably the side here where it rolls the most, so it grabs the most. Oh, look at that. One of our little pins fell right out the bottom anyways. There we go. That worked. Okay, so now I only seen one pin, so now see the X. See the X. That's how you know which way they're gonna line up, because the X's are always gonna go together. I mean, obviously you can only have it one of two fucking ways. Alright, perfect. Get that air off. Give our shoes a nice cleaning too while we got them all apart. Okay, so what's going on here is I wasn't able to get the one of these roll pins here. One of them came out and the other one's just being super stubborn. I'm fighting with it for like 10 minutes trying to get it out, and it's just not coming, so we're gonna have to open up this clutch here, and that's just all there is to it. So all I did was I don't know if you guys can't see this anyways, but I had a hole here in my bench already, so I just put a bolt with some washers through it. I'm just going to tighten that up to hold this, and then I'll slowly release that to release my clamp afterwards. Drop my wrench. Ta-da! Hopefully we can get that back together again. Alright, so I do believe, before we go any further with this also has an X here that lines up. And you take this part here, there's an X on top of here. It lines up with the same X that we seen a while ago. And there's our dirty little pin. There's a fucking little cocksucker, it just wouldn't come out. Oh well, we got her now. All that just for that. Goes in. Grab the flashlight actually. That should help me line up that hole pretty good. And I can always use that pin punch to make sure, but there we go. Lined up. All done. It's definitely a bit less play. Not much, but. So we decided to go with the 92G. After doing a little bit of looking online and on Hunterworks website, he recommends the 92G for all the newer 2016 and up models, I believe, 900s. Why? I'm not 100% sure. The belt's a little thinner than the stock. To me, that kind of says you lose a little bit of top end speed, but we'll see. we're going to give her a shot. We're going to put her in and we'll give you an honest review. So what we're doing here at the kitchen sink is any belt, OEM, aftermarket, any belt whatsoever. Before you go and install it into your machine, you should always give it a good wash first. What I like to use is a really good thing to use. It's just good old dish liquid, Palmolive, Sunlight, any one of them. Dish liquid's a great degreaser, so it works really well to clean a lot of stuff. Okay, there you go. All installed, all done. All that's left to do now is ride. Now I just gotta finish putting my machine back together and we'll go break our belt in here. We'll go for a little rip. So won't you bake? So don't. Alright, we're back, and so far we put a few 100 kilometers onto the Hunterworks belt here and rollers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go inside the clutch again. I've already got my cover off, as you can see, and we're going to remove the belt again, inspect that, probably change the belt and I'll explain why in a bit. So yeah, we're going to remove the belt, inspect the belt, clean the clutches, and check out what the rollers look like anyway. So let's get right to that and not waste too much time here. Okay, so what I've found handy for removing these belts and secondary clutches is it's real simple with these. You just got to remove the bolt that holds your secondary. Set that aside, and it loosens up your sheaves here for you. So it makes it really easy to just pop this all off, pull it all out together, one piece, it's like such. Yeah, so it just makes it easy to really get at these clutches, get this belt off if you really want to. So okay, so now that we're back in the laboratory, we're going to give our results of what I'm thinking about the Hunterworks belt here, about running it the past 1,000 kilometers or so. Number one, I'll say right off the hop that after I installed the rollers and the belt, I definitely noticed a smoother engagement. It was like, it wasn't like clap, clap, clap there, like right off the hop there, when you're just starting off there trying to go slow out the shed or whatever. You were able to really ease into the throttle. And, I think maybe that was partially probably due just to the simple fact that the belt's a little thinner than the OEM belt was. But, I mean, and then besides that, no real big issues. A little bit of performance loss, again, probably because the belt is thinner than the OEM belt. I noticed my top speed, I was having a harder time getting up there, and with my stage 2 tune even, maybe felt like I was losing a little bit in the bottom end. So, and then there was also the issue of when I was coming off the gas at high speeds, I was noticing like a chatter that wasn't really there before, and it was like a slapping sound. So, I mean, and then removing the belt, I mean, the first thing I noticed right off the hop is here's the Hunterworks belt in this hand, and here's the OEM belt. If I hold it up the edge, I mean, I'm sure you guys can see how droopy this belt is. It's just a much softer material. So I can just imagine when this gets hot, that it gets even softer, because, well, there's no rubber in the world that I know of that gets harder when it gets hotter. So I'm going to imagine that there's partially due to what I'm hearing, the slap in I didn't hear that before I had changed the belts over. So, and then there was also the issue of my belt cover here. This wasn't in here from the OEM belt. This only happened after. And I imagine this is probably where I'm hearing the slapping happen when I'm coming off the gas. And she's probably rubbing in here a little bit. She's getting loose, so. Yeah, I mean, just for those reasons there, I'm not going to put the Hunterworks belt back into my machine. I'm going to go with something else, because maybe this belt is good for your application on a stock machine, maybe whatever, where I have higher performance, stage 2 tune, this and that. Maybe I need something a little bit more competitive for what I need. So now if we look at the rollers here, Hunterworks rollers that we had installed here, these here have about the same amount of time in them. You can tell, like, they're still around though. I mean, they're still doing their job. I wouldn't say that I noticed any real spots where they would be flattening out or anything like that. So they're still holding up, and they're still tighter than the square pucks were. So I'm going to assume that these are still doing their job nicely. And also, once we install our clutch with our OEM belt again, we'll also be able to tell if just the rollers alone did any help and helped us out with smoothing out our ride compared to the square pucks. Because that was a test that I hadn't done since I had put the Hunterworks belt on with the rollers at the same time. So now we'll get to test that out, and then we'll see if just the rollers will give you a help out. So anyways, we're just going to go ahead, we're going to clean up the clutches, and we're going to slap that all back together and see how she goes, eh?
Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
Hunterworks 92G belt and the Hunterworks roller kit, secondary roller kit for your rollers. For starters, if you still have those square pucks in your secondary, what are you waiting for? Get those out of there right now, right away. Don't wait another minute. Order yourself up a set of those secondary rollers for your secondary from Cutterloos.ca or Hunterworks.com. Don't wait another minute. Those square pucks are no bueno in there for you. You definitely want to get those round rollers in there 100%. As for the Hunterworks belt, if your main goal is just to get rid of that jerkiness feeling when you're just kind of at a solo crawl, the 92G belt will definitely do that for you. The only warning that I'll give with it is the rubber composition seems a bit soft to me. It was getting some belt slap when I was coming off the higher end throttle, and it was hitting my cover, which I did not get with my OEM belt. If you're a high performance rider like I am, the 92G belt is probably not for you. You're going to notice a decrease in performance off the top end and a little bit on the bottom end right off the bat. I have a stage 2 tune on mine, so it might be more apparent to me than it might be on a stock machine. So there's always that taken into consideration. So if you're just looking for a half decent replacement belt to your OEM belt, maybe for a fraction of the cost less, not much less, Hunterworks belt might be a good option for you if you go with the 91K belt, I believe it is. And in the future, I do have that belt still on hand, and I might put that belt in and give that one a try just to see with the comparisons and all that. But for now, I'm pretty happy with my OEM belt performance, and I don't see the need to be running the Hunterworks belt. But that's not due to any quality or anything like that, other than the couple of little things that I mentioned. So there you go, everybody. That's my 2 cents on the subject. You can, if you're a Canadian resident, you can check out the Hunterworks products at Cutterloos.ca. He's bringing in more and more stuff from down there, so you guys can check that out on there. And if you're an American citizen, well, you guys can just go right on the Hunterworks site and order up there, because I'm sure you'll get faster and cheaper shipping that way. But no, everybody, keep the shiny side up and all 4 on the floor, and I hope to catch you on the flip side.